I've got a secret for you guys. I, Coach Morgan, am a heel striker. And I know that many runners cringe when they hear the word heel striking because heel striking gets a really bad reputation for giving us some impact-related injuries. So how can I continue to run while remaining a heel striker and not get injured? I'll tell you how. Hey, let's pause here real quick. If you're unfamiliar with the different kinds of foot strikes, I want to go over them for you just really quickly. So the first one we'll go over is the heel strike, as we've been talking about. Heel strike looks like this. When you're coming down and landing, obviously heel first. Then we have the midfoot strike, where you're landing pretty flat on your foot here. Then we have the forefoot strike, if you're one of those kind of tippy toe runners, when you're landing on the balls of your feet. So those are the three types of ways that your foot can land on the ground when running. Let's get back into the video. So when these runners find out that they're coming down and landing on their heel, maybe they've seen a picture of themselves from a race, or a friend has pointed it out, or they've gone to get their gait analyzed, and the trainer says, hey, you're heel striking. Immediately the reaction for some people is to be like, well, okay, I'm just gonna not land on my heel then. And they're gonna force their body to land in a position that it doesn't want to naturally land in. And unfortunately, that can be even more damaging to the body. And the only thing these runners are seeing is just that picture of their heel striking the ground. They're not actually looking at the rest of their body and how it's moving. Because heel striking is only going to lead to those impact injuries if our leg is stretched out in front of us. So what do we need to look at? We need to look at the shin angle. So take a look at this picture over here. This is me, yes, me, heel striking away. But what you'll notice is that my shin is actually perpendicular to the ground, which means my leg is going to land underneath my body with a bent knee, right? I don't have my leg out straight like this where it's locked, and that's what's going to cause the impact. When I'm hitting here, that impact is going to travel all the way up the rest of my body. So I'm not going to absorb any of that impact if my leg is out straight in front of me. I'm overreaching in my stride, I'm overstriding, right? So we're pretending this is my foot here. If my leg is outstretched and my knee is locked out when I'm heel striking, all that force that I'm landing with is going to go all the way up, and it's going to impact my knee, it's going to impact my hips, and probably my lower back as well too. But if I'm instead landing with a bent knee, my body's going to absorb that impact, as our bodies are meant to do. So reducing any of those injuries. So what we want to do is look at the shin angle. So if I'm running along and I'm running like this, where I'm heel striking, like I said, my leg is out straight, I'm not going to be able to absorb any of that impact. And my foot is out in front of me, I'm overstriding, it's in front of my hips. But if I'm landing on a bent knee, now my shin angle is perpendicular to the ground, right? Before, it is not, now it is. I can still land here on my heel, but in a better way to absorb all of that impact. I can still land on my heel. And the great thing is that your calcaneus, your heel, that heel bone, is curved. It's meant to roll off of, right? It's meant to land and roll, not just stop. So if you're landing with your foot right underneath your body, you're going to be able to hit and roll off even while in a heel striking position. And this style of running is actually pretty efficient for long distance runners. Because when you land on your heel and allow it to rock to the front, you're actually expending a lot less energy. So for those longer endurance races, this is actually a really good technique. Not so much for my sprinters who really need to be up on their toes in a more forefoot strike so they can push off and get that extra little energy boost with each step. As distance runners, we don't really need that unless we're sprinting to the finish. So don't worry too much about where exactly your foot is hitting the ground. You want to be concentrating on not overstriding instead. So how do we do this? We want to focus on our cadence. We, the coaches here at the Run Experience, created an entire program around fixing your cadence and how to perfect it and make your run form even more efficient. So be sure to check out the link in the description below to download our app and check out the Cadence Challenge. It's a really great way to help dial in that form. I'll see you guys in there.